They'd bring him a product, and he'd say, absolutely not, redo that, make it do this.
Hi, we started having a conversation and we were talking about really interesting things. And then I was like, oh, we should start the podcast, by the way. So we're already halfway through a conversation.
Smash cut!
Yeah. So yeah, that was that. Yeah, good talk. Thanks for coming in, everyone. We'll be back next week with something else, Here's some adverts, Anyway. The microphones are on, aren't they? Like, we should just double check that.
I mean, they should be.
They are. Yes,
they were previously.
Yes.
Before I hit go live.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna give us a second chat.
Get that pop-out chat going. Yes, we were talking about Windows and how each part of Windows as a single component is, well built and makes sense. But the problem is that the final product of Windows is just all of these things just jumbled together into a box, and you end up with something that is less than the sum of its parts, kind of thing, it's because this is the problem with Windows is there's so many people working on it, and each individual team is allowed to touch one small part of it, but they're not allowed to touch the surrounding area of what they're working on. So you just end up with bits piled on top of bits piled on top of bits, and it's just bleh,
Yeah.
Anyway, hello. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, which is kind of why, at least what appears to have been rumoured in a couple of places, kind of the intention seems to have come from reasonably high up to rebuild a lot of parts of it and take out we've got this module from this team and this module from that team and this module from this team. Let's make a single module that does the function and make one team that manages what was 5 teams. Consolidate,
man.
Yeah.
Windows is a JBOD array.
Yeah.
Filled with 250 and 500 gigabyte random ass hard drives. It's like, oh my god, please just throw all of this out and put in new drives,
Yeah.
So yeah, it appears people aren't able to fix the crap parts either at Microsoft. We'll see. There's a lot of talk coming out of Is it still Redmond?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk coming out of Redmond.
The place does still physically exist.
Is that still where Microsoft is, though?
Also, yes.
Yes, good. Yeah, a lot of talk coming out of Redmond.
We haven't just, nuked from orbit part of continental United States.
A lot of talk coming out of Redmond that seems to be that it sounds like Windows, Windows is a big ship, takes a while to change direction, but they've dialed in a new bearing on the ship's wheel, and so the ship is, there is an intention to alter course.
Yeah.
And the suggestions that are coming out that we're hearing about is just rebuilding the start menu so the code base isn't just a hot mess.
Yeah.
And dialing back Copilot so that's not just being forced down on everything anymore. Like Microsoft have read the room,
it's like
stuff
with
this.
Copilot. I think they should still do all the stuff they want to do with it, but just allow it to be
and just
thing.
Consumer choice. Yeah, one of the latest things is, how modern laptops have a Copilot key on them now.
I've not actually seen any.
I've seen it, but brand new laptop. I think it's Copilot enabled laptops or something.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, just a lot of laptops will have that. In an upcoming update, you'll be able to remap that key to do whatever you want. It won't be only Copilot. You can map it to do whatever you want. So again, this is a direction back toward user choice, where you can decide what that button does instead of Microsoft saying that does Copilot.
I hope that there's an advanced mode where you can just reprogram all the keys.
Maybe,
because if you're already going to the effort of having reprogram a key option in Windows, you should just extend it to every key.
Sure.
Because if you're already doing 99% of the work,
do
the final 1% to turn it on for everything.
Maybe.
Because if someone's using a New Zealand layout keyboard, but they need their Windows language in English, UK, some of the keys don't line up properly. But if I can remap that
Yeah.
fixed.
I don't know about that because that's outside the scope of just the Copilot key. However, the point is, it's just like these are all sort of signs coming out of Microsoft that make it look like they've finally read the room, been like, okay, right, we get it. Windows isn't where anyone wants it to be right now, and all of the little all of the little things we're seeing coming out of Redmond are all looking like Microsoft's attitude is now they're now looking in the right direction. Whether they actually go in that direction and whether they actually make it to the destination is still up for debate, and the jury's still out. But the fact that they at least seem to be looking in the right direction now is a very good start. And that's an awful lot more than the previous direction, which was just Copilot, and if you're you're either with us or you're against us kind of thing. It looks like they're actually going, okay, we get it, we've heard you, we've heard your feedback, and we're going to do better, kind of thing. So patiently optimistic. Because at the end of the day, I would like Windows to be good again. So yes. You can remap the key with Power Toys. Oh, is that already in Power Toys? That's interesting. Yeah. Registry hack. So that's what Power Toys is doing then. Yeah. Well, apparently they're adding that in as just a feature in Windows. So yeah. It sounds like desperation. Yes, and like Microsoft are still like the dominant operating system by orders of magnitude. Like Windows is not under any serious threat really, but I think they're not under any serious threat right now. But given the extreme poor sentiment toward Windows, it would not surprise me if Microsoft bigwigs are looking at that being like, this is going to be a problem if we don't start now. It is going to take time to alter course, and we need to do that now. Otherwise, we're not in danger now, but if we don't change course now, in X years, we will be in danger, and it will be too late.
I think the thing that I found the most surprising about kind of being in danger and so on and so forth is apparently a number of larger firms looked at the hassle of upgrading from Windows 10 to Windows 11 and decided that replacing everything with macOS was easier. A number of firms. I'm like, how? How was that easier in any stretch of the imagination?
A lot of it is just people are just sick of it.
But to upgrade from Windows 10 to 11 was too difficult. So you replaced every single machine with a Mac.
Yeah.
And then migrated all of your custom Windows software to Mac.
Yeah. Again, at that point,
was easier?
Yeah, it's not logical anymore. It's spiteful because this is the problem. This is what I see from everyone who is just like, I don't like Windows 11. Windows 11 is garbage and stuff. They're not looking at it logically, because when you look at it logically, nothing has actually changed, and all of your problems are systemic within Microsoft's ecosystem, not with Windows 11 specifically. And so the people who are refusing to upgrade to Windows 11 are doing it out of spite, not out of any kind of logic, because they'll be like, I'm using debloated Windows 10. It's like, well, you can debloat Windows 11. That's not 11 is not your problem. Again, this is the big thing. At some point, someone in the chat said this, and I took this line to heart. Windows 11 isn't the problem. It's what Microsoft is doing to Windows 11 that is the problem. And Windows 11 just happens to be the current version of Windows. If we were still on 10, exactly the same thing would have been happening to 10. So that's the thing. 11 isn't the problem. It is systemic. And the thing is this is why I say that Microsoft looking in new directions is such a good thing, because that shows a systemic change, which is how we will actually get real change to Windows. a change in the internal philosophy of what they're doing with Windows. And yeah. And yeah, it's entirely possible that it's, for a lot of people it will be too little too late, and plenty of people are like, it's too late, I've gone to Linux kind of thing. And I think that's a very valid solution. Obviously, like my Linux video is still in post-production hell and very behind schedule, but that's still, my sentiment from that is, while I didn't stick with Linux, I could see how a lot of people could have stuck. It was a death of 1,000 cuts for me, with a couple of bits that were just very awkward and very me specific. But someone with a simpler setup, like the average just Steam gamer who did what I did, could have just stayed with Linux, no problem. If I just played games, if I was just playing games on my PC and wasn't doing anything more complicated than that, it would have been extremely easy for me to stick with Linux. It was only because there were some things that I was doing where the solutions required more faff than I wanted to go through, and also just because of the nature of my work and stuff, I was like, I will continue to have faff in the future, and I just don't want to deal with that right now. Blah blah blah. But yeah, and also I think people will start becoming accustomed to the concept of other systems, because anyone who owns a Steam Deck is obviously accustomed to the idea of having a PC that isn't a PC, and the Steam machine will be very interesting to see how that pans out, because that's also going to really test people's concept of what they really use their computer for and don't use it for, and things like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So yeah, we'll see. Windows 10, the last ever version of Windows. That's incorrect. Fun fact: they never. The last ever Windows was actually a complete misinterpretation. This was in my. This is also in my Linux piece. No, this was in my dropped Windows 11 rant video that never got out of post-production hell either. I looked up the source of that, and what happened was, at some point I looked up the dude's name and such, but it was a high-level developer in Microsoft, like a developer lead engineer guy, who said, right now we're currently working on Windows 10 because it's the last version of Windows, and so that's where we're currently focused. And he didn't mean it's the last version of Windows we're ever going to make. He meant it is the latest version. It is the last version to come out. When you read it in context, he clearly meant it is the most recent version. It is the last version to have been released. They didn't actually mean it was going to be the last version of Windows they would ever make. They never actually said that. That's clearly not what they were. That's clearly not what he intended to, what he was implying. So yeah, fun fact.
But also, in a sense, kind of, they did build it certainly far more in a fashion that it could technically...
It could have been, yeah.
It could technically have been.
Yeah.
Because they did the initially twice yearly updates that effectively reset most of the system state.
Yes.
So you could go, oh, actually, I need to completely replace half the OS.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's all the mechanisms to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, some brand new interface exists that we didn't consider. Boom, here's half the OS replaced and an entire new interface stack built in.
I do feel
and
like...
there were the tools to actually do that. Whereas, try doing that on Windows 8.
Yeah.
Try doing that on 7.
I do think they could have, that Microsoft could have, at that point, adopted the Apple model with macOS updates, where when a new version of macOS comes out, people don't really... It doesn't seem to have the same gravity and weight as a new version of Windows. The updates are incremental and frequent enough that people just don't notice and don't complain when a new version of macOS comes out. And like, this is also helped by the fact that for the most part, new versions of macOS have been consistently better than the previous version, with Tahoe being a rare exception, because Tahoe's just been a mess. Like, everyone basically agrees on that now. But broadly speaking, when Windows 10 got into this position of the build updates, it was just like, well, now they can do the macOS one where they just continually update it. Because like Windows 10, Windows 10 15 or whatever, Gold Master Edition, that's not the same beast as 22H2 or 21H1 or whatever the last version 10 was. They're completely different animals. So like they basically were doing the Apple model, they just hadn't committed to it by actually like just saying, by actually sort of, because like sometimes when you look on Microsoft's websites, there'll be like Windows 11 25H2. Like sometimes they'll display that 25H2 code name, but so it feels like they want to say, oh yeah, this is now a product as a service, and we're just going with versions of Windows whatever. There's no more Windows 10, Windows 11. It is now just Windows 25H2. And before that we had 24H2. Just like if they could just commit to that, and you can build in all of the backwards compatibility and say your computer must have this spec to run 25H2 and stuff, and people will be like, oh, it doesn't, so I'll just stay on 24H2. Whereas where the Windows, the actual new big number, version number, creates just such this hard slice that it feels like that makes a bigger divide than is necessary. And yeah, again, on macOS, no one bats an eyelid if their Mac doesn't run the latest version of macOS. No one cares, because it's just running macOS. They don't even know, people don't pay any attention as to what version it's running at all.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know, man.
I think there's certainly a lot of benefit to that. Because if you were doing a relatively clean restart every 6 years, every 7 years kind of thing on the OS, and doing it in the kind of big numbered version Microsoft thing. So like you had Windows 7 and then you replace most of the code base for 8. You replace most of the code base for 10. You replace most of the code base for 11, and doing that, and then incremental updates inside that. Fine, because that also means you can say, oh, if you're running 11, we know that it has insert all features that came out after 11 on there. Your hardware will support that because it's a requirement of the operating system, and also the operating system supports that. Because like obviously you look at Wi-Fi 7, and you look at the way that Wi-Fi 7 supports there. Windows 11 22H2 doesn't support Wi-Fi 7. But if your machine is in some weird broken state where it can't do updates, you're running Windows 11, but you don't have that hardware support kind of thing. So it's just stuff like that, and it's just, I can see how there can be benefits, because it gives you those lines in the sand. So you say, oh, you are running the operating system from 2 years ago, therefore I know this is all true.
Yeah, so maybe we want the big version numbers perhaps, but maybe in that case, like again, I'm just spitballing here, but maybe the mistake was that Windows 10 was around for as long as it was. Because like I've said this before, Windows 10 had an extraordinarily long lifetime. And some people will be like, oh, XP was around for this long. XP was not supposed to be around for as long as it was, not by design. Windows 10 was around for a decade by design. And was that too long? Should they have deliberately, even if it was in name only, should they have deliberately been doing a big number update every 2 or 3 years to make sure people were still used to those new versions of Windows coming out, so it wouldn't have been such a culture shock? Because again, I've said this before, that a lot of people, their culture shock for Windows 11 was that for so many people, Windows 11 was the first new version of Windows they ever saw. Lots of people have only ever known Windows 10, which sounds shocking to some of you, but a shocking number of people have only ever used Windows 10. So that's why Windows 11 was just such a culture shock, because they've never seen a new version of Windows. And I think that might have been the mistake, is that Microsoft were on 10 for too long, so everyone forgot that new versions of Windows do actually happen now and then.
Yeah, and it's kind of, as I said as well, it's the fact that obviously it was a free upgrade from 7. So you had that hardware from 2009
Yeah.
that was technically still officially supported.
I mean, Windows 11 was a free upgrade.
Yes, but then it changed the minimum specifications.
Yes, that's
Whereas
true.
Windows 10
yeah.
didn't.
Yeah.
So kind of that differentiation. So it's kind of a case of you could be running that 11-year-old computer and you're just like, oh, well, it changed from 7 to 10, so why can't I change from 10 to 11? Ignoring the fact that your computer is now 11 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Si's agreeing with that. It was too long for the fact that it was a free upgrade from 7, so you could have hardware from 2009 kind of thing. And that does, and like it that seems impossible, but also like I've had a couple of people this week who've come in with like 15-year-old laptops and have been asking me to service them, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And I've had to twist their arm into replacing them, not because I'm trying to hard sell them on hardware and make money or anything, but just by virtue of the fact I was like, this device is 15 years old. You need to stop using this just simply because it's going to die at any moment. Like, this isn't even me being snotty about old hardware. This is just the fact of when you get to when a computer is 15 years old, it's just not reliable as a daily driver. There's just a laundry list of things that could die on it at any moment, which is not to say they will, but they could. And also, like, some of the customers were even encountering those issues. They were like, oh, it's fine. It just now and then it crashes and cuts out. And I'm like, well, it's not fine then, is it? Because now and then it just dies. That's not supposed to happen, you know? So yeah. And all of this is compounded by OEMs selling computers that are too low spec, you know. Like the conversation that Caradog and I were on before we went live about how last week I had someone come in with a laptop that was a couple of months old. It was an Acer laptop with a Pentium Silver in it. And it had, I think it had 8 gigs of RAM, but that Pentium Silver was 4 cores and it had 4 megabytes of level 3 cache. Not per core, just 4 total. And like, you know, a bad desktop CPU has like 24, you know. So it's just, and it just meant that despite having an SSD in it and despite having 8 gigs of RAM, this laptop was just miserably slow. It was miserable to use. And, you know, I said to the customer, I'm just like, I can't work wonders. It's just a bad laptop. And he's like, well, I don't play games. I only use it to check my email. I'm like, yeah, and it's going to do that slowly because you bought the cheapest laptop money could buy. I'm not trying to be a dick here, but, you know, unfortunately, the cheapest product on the market is just not fit for purpose in this business, you know. And yeah, he was lucky that it had 8 gigs of RAM because it's not, you know, while it's not common, but I do now and then see new devices with 4 gigs of RAM. And I'm like, what is happening? What are we doing? You know. It's a repurposed Chromebook, isn't it? Non-zero chance. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, to a degree, I think Intel's kind of worked that out for higher end processors. Obviously, like, the 250K has 30 megs of L3 for 18 cores.
Yeah, I mean, the AMD's X3D CPUs were a wake-up call. And obviously, those are an extreme example.
Yeah.
But they have proven that throwing a shit ton of cache on your CPU does actually make quite a difference in a lot of cases.
Certainly, you know, a lot, yeah.
So, not all of them, but, you know, certainly it has proven. I think that's the thing that we've seen in the past, like, 2 years or so, is people have suddenly started, like, up until recently, people, unless I'm mistaken, just no one really cared how much cache a CPU had. It was a number it had, and we knew the bigger number was better, but no one was really paying attention to it. And now suddenly, cache has actually become a major factor because, like, this is why the Ryzen 5500 sucks, because it's like 16 megs of cache or something, isn't it? Which is why the 5500 just sucks balls, despite the fact that it's got Like, I think it's 6 cores, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 6 cores. The clock speeds are fine, but because it's only got 16 megs of cache, it just doesn't feel like it punches in its weight class.
Yeah. And like the 5500 feels bad for gaming, which is the context we're mostly talking about.
Yeah.
Because gaming likes cache.
Yeah.
It also feels bad for gaming because it's only got a total of like 18 PCI 3, Gen 3 PCI Express lanes. It's only got like 18 of them.
So the rest of the platform is...
Instead of 24.
Yeah.
And they're only PCI 3 instead of PCI 4.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of a case
I mean, there are other things wrong with that CPU,
so it's kind of a case of it all compounds. But the thing that makes it the worst out of all of that for the gaming use case is the cache.
Yeah.
Everything else could almost be ignored.
Yeah.
If the cache didn't hold it back so much.
Like
and that's wild.
It being PCI Express Gen 3, you know, like you can solve that problem by using a graphics card that doesn't care about that. And things like that.
But it's kind of a case
the
of
cache, you can't escape that.
You halve that bus speed, and it doesn't make that much difference.
Yeah.
But you halve for cache, and that's a massive difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the cache is the third level of caching, and we already have DDR4 trying to cover that up, and memory on the graphics card trying to cover that up. So it's like there's so many other levels of cache, but that one makes such a huge disproportionate difference. It's like, that's the thing that's mind-blowing on it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Ugh, some guy says, we got a new shop laptop. It's got a 2-core Celeron. It's like brand new. Dual-core Celeron, 100% CPU utilization for 90 seconds, trying to open Chrome. Yeah, it's just like... that needs to be regulated. You shouldn't be allowed to sell a laptop like that, you know, because like the charitable read on this is that Intel would turn around and say that CPU is not designed for this use case. That CPU is designed for embedded systems. It's not designed to run full fat Windows 11 or whatever. That might be their defense against why the product exists. But whatever the excuse is, the fact remains is that old lady Deirdre can walk into Curry's and say, I want to buy a laptop, I just want to check my email and talk to my family on Facebook, and they'll say, here's our cheapest laptop for you, madam, and it'll be a whatever it costs, the cheapest one in the store, and it's got 2 cores on it and takes 90 seconds to open Chrome. Which is just not fit for purpose, because you know, and because again, it's that I hear it every day when customers say, "Oh, like I don't play games, I'm not a big user." I'm like, so why do you want a bad user experience then? You're trying to convince me that it's okay for you to have a bad user experience because you don't do much on your computer. You know, why are you trying to convince me that you should have the bad computer? Don't you want a good user experience? You know, like you're looking at this all wrong. It's just,
It's like, you know, to a degree, obviously Windows 11, the minimum specification changes. To a degree, we're trying to, you know, to a degree, we're going to do something about that.
Yeah.
But the problem was, they were not enforced. They weren't high enough, and they didn't have a performance requirement. They just had effectively an arbitrary age cutoff.
Yeah.
So anything that was newer than that age, but slower, was still fine.
Yeah, I'm curious to...
And it's like, you know, we needed that, the Windows Experience Index. We needed that.
Yeah.
With it, and said, well, this laptop you bought from HP has a score of 4.
The Windows Experience Index was a good idea. It was poorly implemented, but it was a good idea because it would just give a layperson a rough idea on how good the device was. And like, you know, obviously we could probably have an entire podcast where we break down and discuss how we would redo the Experience Index to have a score that was representative yet simple. That would be a fascinating conversation, I think. However, the fact remains is that the idea was good. That it gave the customer a way of being able to check the computer and see if the computer was actually good or not. Yeah. But yeah, lots of people are saying that these low-spec computers are great candidates for Linux and stuff, and I'm like, at some point I want to test that, because like I can fully believe that you could install Linux on a low-spec laptop, and it's going to use very little RAM at idle, so it's going to make better use of less RAM and stuff like that. But also, just a lot of websites, just the way the modern internet works, just requires a lot of CPU horsepower.
Yeah.
There's a lot of graphics that the internet just has, and I think that you're still going to run into that. But I'm willing to be proven wrong on that, though. That's something that I want to test.
And it's also kind of a case of it doesn't get away from the fact of decoding a 720p video at 30 frames per second requires a certain level of hardware performance.
Yeah. Does this have any power in it? This is just a random HP laptop that I have kicking around the shop.
And it's just kind of that's kind of my point, is the fact of you can talk about efficiency and coding and so on and so forth and bloat and waste and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But also, if you ultimately just break it down, it's a case of, well, to decode this video at this frame rate, I need this throughput. If the CPU doesn't do that, it doesn't matter what operating system you're running.
And if it's an old CPU and it doesn't have any hardware video decoding that is useful in the modern world, then now you've got to do it in software, which is going to be even worse because of XYZ and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, it's just kind of a case of just, it doesn't matter how light your operating system is when the hardware literally isn't fast enough. There does seem to be a light here.
Yeah, I got a charge light. I'm just seeing. Don't think this thing is going to turn on. I'm just going to try plugging it into a 60-watt charger, because I'm plugging it into the table at the moment, and the table's only got 45 watts. Oh, it's right here. I just want to see what spec this laptop is, because this is a shop laptop, and I've been keeping this kicking around for future BIOS crash course videos. And I'm just like, actually, what spec is this? Because like maybe we can actually like mess with this now.
Yeah.
This does not want to turn on, so it might be kill. Is this even the laptop that I think it is? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. Oh, that's a shame if that's died. I'll have to find something else to use instead. All right. Obligatory install Gen 2. Does anyone care about Gen 2 still? These days it's either Arch or Bazite. I almost don't like Bazite because of how evangelical Bazite users are. No, that doesn't want to turn on. Am I looking into this? Do I care? Maybe. I tell you what, might be. I'll take the back cover off of it so I can actually I'll just look at what's in it while we're talking.
So that might at least give an indication.
Yeah.
What's it say it is on the sticker?
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. We might be able to look it up. It is. It's a 255 G5. You might be try looking up the serial number of it instead. So yeah, try HP drive or HP serial number. Look, yeah, or warranty check or something.
Enter your serial number.
The serial number is CND7071M2C.
No.
Oh yeah, sorry, that was 7071. Yeah.
Yeah. The warranty has expired.
Okay,
Yeah.
will you tell us the specifications and accessories? Components? No. Oh, I thought that was too much to ask for. It's annoyingly difficult to just find out what you have from a serial number for OEM computers, I find.
Oh, there you go. It's a 2017 laptop. There you go. That's all
Yeah.
I was trying to find was a year. I was like, good God, just give me a year.
Yeah, true that. Yeah. Yeah, it's probably not going to be. Well, I mean, it might be. Folks are estimating that it's AMD.
Yes.
But then it could
The
be
delightful E2.
Yeah, I was going to say it could be a potato AMD, in which case it's still good enough to prove our point. But
An E2 that has processing.
Yeah, because the direction that I was going in with this is like this might be a good laptop to actually do that test on and be like, okay, well, here's a low spec laptop that I would say is not fit for use. Let's put Linux on it and see if that magically fixes it, you know. Come on, just open. Oh, I'm trying to open it from the wrong side. This is terrible. Now I'm going to find that there's screws underneath the rubber feet, and I'm going to have to take those off, and I'm going to wonder why I'm doing anything in my life anymore.
What rubber feet?
That strip specifically. Ow.
You just break a clip into your face.
Yes. Okay. Oh, this has an SSD in it. 128 gigs. Wow. DDR3. What are you? I can already tell this is going to be one of those like CPUs that's the size of my little fingernail. That looks dangerously AMD to me. Yeah. Yes. Right. This is. Start googling this. AW731D. Yeah, try that and see if you get anywhere. Let me try taking a picture of it and zooming in. No, that's not coming up with anything. This is actually too small for me to read with the naked eye. Oh, that'll do it though. Hold on.
Apparently it's a type of pretzel.
Oh, here we go. Right. Oh, it is AM. Yeah. AM7310 IT.
Sorry, 7310.
Yeah. IT J44JB.
An A6 7310?
Yes, that sounds plausible.
Would you like to buy one?
No. No. But what so being an A6, that's
3 cores?
Yeah, I was going to say that's supposed to be 6 cores, but actually it's like 3 pairs of cores. It's 3 conjoined twins.
It's
you know?
3 it's 6 integer units and 3 floating point units.
Yeah. Yeah, so the fact that the cores are sharing floating point units is why these CPUs all suck balls, is that they actually have half the core count. Anyway, it has cores. Yeah. Yeah, what's the actual spec? What literally what is this CPU?
What are you?
4 cores, 4 threads. Yeah, okay, yeah. So actually it's more like 2 core, 4 thread then in real life then.
Oh no.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be a 4 core, but because it's only got 2 floating point units, it's actually a dual core. So yes, so this is a good candidate for the Linux argument then.
No.
Oh, it's this laptop. Okay, yeah, this laptop is actually. I think this laptop is actually kill.
Oh, you may reach the heady heights with this CPU of points in Cinebench R15.
Hello, floor lamp.
A Celeron N3450 is 146% faster.
I see. Yes, however, also, now I'm looking at the inside of this laptop, I remember this laptop is in fact dead. So while spec-wise this would have been a good example to be like, cool, well let's put Linux on it and see if it's fast. But also, yeah, I seem to remember this laptop is actually dead. So yes,
oh my God.
Can't remember why, but also I don't care, so I'm putting this away. What?
Just the fact of like an i3 3217U is 153% faster.
Yeah, it's just.
It's like AMD, what were you doing? AMD.
Yeah.
I'm pleased you didn't stop, but also maybe you should have done.
Yes, the last time I remember why this laptop still is here now. This is basically a practice laptop for work experience students, where I'll basically say to them, okay, I want you to take this thing apart as far as you can and then put it back together again.
Yeah, this is the upgraded Puma Plus architecture.
Upgraded.
From the Jaguar cores. The Jaguar cores...
Jaguar.
Yes, but the Jaguar cores are in the PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
Those cores are faster than the cores in the PlayStation 4.
Gosh. Tony Stark.
In specification.
Cave, box of scraps, yeah.
But obviously the PlayStation 4 is allowed to use more than 25 watts.
Yeah.
And also has more than 0 cache.
Yeah.
And has memory that isn't...
It has memory.
Yes.
Fine. Lenovo G something. No, it's a HP. We were talking about old laptops being used. Old laptops getting a new lease of life with Linux and such. And we were talking about, like whether that is actually viable or whether that's kind of a false dichotomy because, it's still going to be slow, etc. What?
Just the preview with you when you started becoming animated and you just
I see.
flails wildly.
Amateur theatre.
I must dramatize my point.
This is the only way I can be entertaining.
Oof.
Cool. All right. All right. I will still need to. I'll need to find another laptop then, because also this was going to be the laptop that I was going to do at some point in the future, when I get around to reading Floor Lamp's UEFI wiki. I wanted to do a laptop where I have a shop laptop that becomes the case study for the future UEFI crash course videos. And it was going to be this laptop where I'm like, cool, right, let's take this laptop as a case study and dissect its BIOS, However, this laptop doesn't work, so that's out the window, so I'll need to find something else. But yes.
Oh God, those grey HPs were Black Friday specials at Curry's. That laptop was probably £250, reduced from 600.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Wouldn't surprise me.
No.
So many of these wretched things in the wild. And the weird thing is like, broadly speaking, a lot of them, they're not in bad condition. Like, this one's the screen is a bit grubby and such, but like, if it's missing its stickers, like, you don't look at this and immediately be like, this is a piece of garbage kind of thing.
That's because the screen's off.
Sure, but yeah, you get what I'm saying, You've really got to know your chassis numbers to be like, no, it's a decade old. The conversation is over. It's a decade old,
Yeah. It has VGA. It has an optical drive.
Yeah, but, sometimes you get deceptively old chassis that were good when they're new, blah, 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 I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what my point is anymore. But yes.
Don't worry, though. It can do online recovery because it has Ethernet.
Zing.
Speaking of recovery, cider?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I could. Yeah. I was a bit hungover this morning, so I was like, probably shouldn't.
Were you on the wine again last night?
I was, yeah.
Did it improve your dancing?
In my mind, it did. I've been listening to. I found a YouTube channel called Beats the Prodigy, and it's a guy who does Prodigy electropunk remixes.
Oh boy!
And they go so hard, so hard. It's so good. And yeah.
Oh, we can see Floor Lamp is here.
If I drink alcohol, Floor Lamp will think I'm cool. This validates me. Would you like a cider, Caradog?
Yeah.
I don't sound too enthusiastic about it.
Yeah. It was also just the fact that I just had the thought, and I was just like, I want a vintage. Like right in that moment, I was just like, I really want a Weston's vintage. That's what I want.
I mean, we've got the hurdle maker here, which is 6.8%.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not that. It's just the flavour profile, that specific
Weston's,
drink.
Yeah, because Weston's vintage. There isn't a seat. No, you checked last week. I was going to say for ages. I think there was a Weston's vintage on the shelf, but yeah, you were looking last week and didn't see anything.
There was a webcam.
Yes, that's the webcam that I accused you of stealing. And I was like, "Are you sure you don't have it in it?" So yeah.
I was like, "No, Graham, it's in the piles."
Look, I'm going to do something about my piles. I'm just not ready yet.
Okay.
You wish? Oh.
We should put... What?
Yeah. Sad.
Womp womp. Oh no.
Uh-oh. It's fine. We kind of just committed to that, where I was just fully expecting to just go across the counter, and I think we both just stared at it, being like, "Well, I'm not going to try and stop it now." So.
It was very much the case. I was just like, I'll just make sure it doesn't sticky the mouse.
Sticky.
My sticky buddy.
My sticky buddy gets into all the cracks. Anyway.
Oh, do you know what there is, though?
What is there?
There is the most delightful.
Oh, the rosé. Oh, this would have been a good day for that. That's a shame.
Not only is it knockoff brand,
yeah,
it's in a can and rosé.
Peak white girl.
Anyway, I'm going to go put this in your fridge.
Very well.
So it's ready for you at your choosing.
All right. Good. Right. A new thing to do. I'm going to do some tinkering while we're chatting, just because I've got some random bits and pieces to do. I've had a couple of laptops that have been fighting me in extreme ways that I'm very salty about this week, where I've spent 4 days working on a laptop that should have been done in an afternoon.
By doing the same thing.
Yes. The most, and I'm so mad because basically it's data transfer. Copy all the data from an old laptop onto a Latitude to sell. Okay. And so my strategy for that is that I image the Windows partition onto the new laptop, and then boot it up so you get the customer's like Windows 10 installation on the Latitude, and then you upgrade it to Windows 11, and then you service. That's my that's my strategy, because then you transfer that gets you everything.
Yeah.
And but the problem I ran into is that every time it tried to install one of the security updates, in this case, this time around, it was KB 5089549. It would not just fail to install, but it would then just brick the Windows install. It would just blue screen on startup. Couldn't do anything. Couldn't system restore. Couldn't roll back. Couldn't get into safe mode. do not pass go, do not collect £200. Done. Just start again, you know. And I ran into this fault like 4 times over, and then finally I was like, okay, right, let's actually, holy sediment, Batman. Finally I was like, okay, right, let's actually like check this and research it, and it turned out that the EFI partition was too small, and it was trying to make modifications to the EFI partition, running out of space and just shitting the bed.
Oh, I see.
And so that's why I have now solved the problem, but I'm just mad that it took me that long to just stop and analyze what the problem was before just going, oh, I'll do it again and maybe it'll go differently this time, you know. So yeah.
Yeah.
The EFI partition specifically. For some reason or other, my reference image that I start from, the EFI partition is only 100 megabytes.
Can that be an arbitrary size?
Theoretically,
So
yes.
could you arbitrarily just make it 1 gigabyte?
Yes.
On your image?
Yes, I could.
So
yeah.
it will effectively never be a problem.
Well, the thought has occurred to me because the way I've solved it is I did a completely clean install of Windows 11 on the laptop in question. So it made brand new ones, installed all of the updates, including that security update, to make sure that anything it wanted to do to the EFI partition had been done. Yeah. And it created, I think it was a 200 megabyte EFI partition. So whether the size has changed or not, I'm not sure. But either way, basically my reference image, the EFI partition, is too small. And this has probably been causing me problems just elsewhere without me knowing as well. So the thought has occurred to me to make a reference image where it's just like a 500 megabyte EFI partition just for future proof or something. But
do you need the EFI?
Yeah, that's where the boot record. That's where the boot manager is and stuff.
So sorry. On you have to have it on your image. You can't just have the laptop can't just make one on first boot, can it?
No, although that much being said, there are plenty of repair tools that can remake the EFI partition.
Yeah.
I just don't want to have to do that. I want to just put the SSD into the data rig back there and go restore my reference image. You know. But then on the other hand, like the other solution here is that what this has done is it just means that I need to remake my new reference image, and I'm like, the other one, my existing one, that's like 6 months old, so it doesn't have the latest Windows updates on it and stuff anyway. So it's like, well, it's probably about time that I made a new reference image anyway. So I don't think I need to really do anything here. This is just hey, you should probably update your image because it's 6 months out of date and that's causing problems.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think mine's meant to be cloudy. I'm not sure. I'm slowly trying to swish it around to pick up that sediment and mix it in. So yeah. It tastes fine though.
240 is a new recommendation, but bootloader and BCD take up only a couple of dozen kilobytes. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. And like some of the
but it can be an arbitrary size, so you could make one that was 257 megabytes in size, and that wouldn't cause it to wet the bed.
Yeah. You're just wasting space on the drive. And you know, like if you've got like a terabyte, then obviously 500 megabytes is nothing. However, because a lot of the latitudes I'm selling are still 250 gig SSDs, I'm kind of counting gigabytes on those because.
Sorry, that was more of a
broadly
technical
speaking,
question than a practicality.
Yes.
Yeah.
100% agree. Also, yes, I think this definitely was supposed to be a cloudy because it is turning cloudy. I'm just trying to make it so it doesn't have just bits in it at the moment. But yeah, this definitely needed a shake up and a settle. 14 gigabyte Dell recovery partition. Yeah. Just, terrible. But yes, 240 megabytes is the current recommendation, and yeah, that makes sense.
Like, can you literally just like expand the partition in Disk Manager and you're done?
Not in Disk Manager, because Disk Manager won't let you, because the EFI partition is going to be in front of the Windows partition, and you can't push everything along.
In a functioning disk
Yes.
management tool,
Yeah.
you can just dumb expand it, and that's the same thing. It doesn't need to fill it with certain numbers of zeros or anything. It's not like a UEFI image.
Theoretically, it won't let you expand it. Are you sure? I'm pretty certain that you can't. Like, disk management won't give you those options, but I'm pretty certain that you could command line tool it.
Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't saying about using that tool specifically. I meant the concept of can you just
partition manager? Yeah.
use a partition manager to dumb expand it so it's of the correct number of megabytes, or do you need to fill it in a specific?
Yeah. It can just have empty space. Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there you go. Partition Wizard 3 9.1. Handed down from the floor lamp himself.
Yeah.
It's written in the scrolls.
Yes. I'll have to check if ESUS can do it, because I've got it. I've committed to doing a ESUS promo video. So that's one of the use cases that I can show if that can do it nicely. Because ESUS, one of the reasons why I want to start using it is that it just has a lot of like one-click fixes for broken boot managers and stuff like that, which is why it's appealing to me. Is that it just has some drive won't boot, fix it for me buttons, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, WinPE boot and do it. Well, yeah, ESUS can do it. Yeah. This is the thing, bearing in mind that if I'm going to do a promo, I'm promoting a tool where the idea is that you don't need to know how to make a Windows PE drive, etc., etc., etc. So yeah. But yeah.
I'll try that again as a sentence.
Yeah.
Is your boot stick floor lamp something you publish?
Yeah, have you got a published ready version of that at the moment, Florian? Because this came up recently, but also, like, I know I keep threatening to do a video about making a PE drive, and I keep just not getting round to it.
I keep going, oh yes, that's an idea.
Yeah.
So anyway,
if
robots fighting.
Yeah. Well, yeah, kind of. But yes, also just I mean. A lot of this is just these are videos that I want to exist as well, but they just require a lot of planning, because I need to plan out how I'm going to do the video, and that's just not something I just have the mental capacity for at the moment. So yeah, got Greyware license. Yeah, I think that's probably the answer there. Is for license reasons, no. Yeah.
Oh, but you do supply the build tools. Oh, okay, cool.
And also, Hirons is an option. Although I think my beef with Hirons boot drive is it doesn't have an idiot version. I don't think.
Didn't it for a longest time not support UEFI boot or something?
I don't know. The current version is WinPE based, but the problem is that when you go to make a Hirons boot drive, it presents you with like a spreadsheet of what tools you want to be on it, and like in a way that's great because you can make your own custom version of it. But the problem is that a lot of people be like, I don't know what any of this is or whether I need it, and there's like 10 options that there's 10 different partition managers there. It's like, we don't need a choice of 10 different partition managers. Just pick one good one and say this is the one that we supply with Hirons boot. You know. This is what happens when you start doing it by committee. I noticed this when I went to use I used the Titus Tech Windows debloat tool the other day. And it was my first time using that, and my first impression of it was, wow, there are way too many options here. Clearly, this has had a lot of community input where people have been like, why doesn't it have my favorite XYZ there as an option? It's like, because it doesn't need that, man. You know. And now, by adding in all these options, you've now made the tool have an option sheet this big. Which now means that when I look at that and be like, I'm not reading all of that. you know.
Do you know what you need?
What?
You need the Titus debloat tool.
Yeah! Unironically.
You need to debloat the debloat tool, so you can debloat the debloat.
Look up Phoenix PE. That's what you build your everyday tool set with. Okay.
Interesting. To whatever search engine you have set here, DuckDuckGo. So if you do a search on DuckDuckGo, are you ducking? Are you going?
Maybe. Yeah.
Oh no, it's on GitHub. Never mind.
Look, I've gotten over my GitHub dislike. You can get there too. I can take you there, I believe. I understand. I was once in your position where I was like, as soon as you see GitHub, it's like, no, I can't deal with this. Give me a download link. It's like, look, releases, there, that's it, that's the download. They don't call it a download though, they call it a release. Duck that up for me, says Triple Aim.
Oh, quacking.
Yeah, unironically, I think we're going to see a lot of people finally changing their default search because of Google's search now just becoming an AI chatbot, which is like awful and like actually an existential threat to the internet as we know it. But yeah.
The problem I've got, I forgot the end of my sentence there and then started another one.
Yeah, that's a problem that you've got. Yeah.
The problem that I've got with changing the search engine is that if I search a postcode in DuckDuckGo and then go, I want a useful map of this.
Well,
do you know what I have? I have Apple Maps.
Apple Maps is pretty good now. Have you used it lately?
Is it?
Yeah.
Because I don't see any street side view.
Oh, okay. You want street side
I don't see
view.
any pictures of the buildings. That's what I'm saying. That's what I need it for.
Yeah.
Therefore, I basically have to Google Maps.
Sure, but it's not going to kill you to type in Google Maps and then search for your postcode.
No. But it's kind of a case of it's those integrations that make it work. Additional friction to switch. Because we're doing lots of like property searches. We're doing lots of stuff off of that, which Google is still really good at linking to images for property searches, people searches, things like that.
Okay, yeah.
And I was just like, oh, that's really annoying because if I just swapped everyone in the office, they would notice and complain. But no one in the office noticed when I blocked all adverts and all cookie pop-ups because that makes the web better.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh.
Yeah. Well, so if you guys are going to continue to use Google, like, let me know how that goes because I'm curious as to how that's going to pan out in in an office environment.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, like Google actually just making Google into just a straight up LLM where it just doesn't actually search the internet anymore is dystopian, and I'm like, that breaks the internet as we know it. Like we can have it's awful. It has all kinds of awful connotations. The fact that like already Google is like burying actual websites, so websites just don't get even less traffic. But the fact is, it's just like people are using Google to find something on the internet, not to have a conversation with a robot. So it's just like, So yeah, I don't know, man.
Is there an open street view? Because there's obviously like open maps.
Yeah,
but like
I will be impressed because at getting street photography, someone just has to go around and take those pictures, and they're not giving those out for free.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, but I think the difference is we don't get those results on our searches. Or at least certainly we seem to very infrequently get LLM results from Google. It's almost always website results.
Yeah, not sure because I stopped using Google a while back.
Yeah.
Because It was when the Google AI results first came out, and I searched for something on the internet, and there was like the top half of the page was the
size of a bed.
Yeah, there was that. Yeah, top half of the page. I'm going to retell that story in a sec.
That's just broken.
Yeah, top half is the AI search result, which is a hallucinatory nightmare. Then the next bit is a bunch of sponsored results, which is not even what I searched for. Like I could say, like let's pretend I search Norton antivirus. There will be top results for TrendNet antivirus, and I'm like, that's not what I searched for. That is not what I searched for, you know. And then at the bottom there'll be like one actual search result, you know. And that's the point where I just gave up on Google. I was like, this is functionally unusable. Whereas I go to DuckDuckGo and I get a page of search results.
This is what I expect Google to look like. This is what it always looks like for me.
Yeah. See, again, do desk view. Yeah.
Browser.
Yeah, let's do the thing.
Browser.
Brown. Yeah. See, that's fine. NVIDIA driver.
This is what our Google search looks like.
That's what I want to. That's what I expect to see.
Yeah, this is what ours looks like, which is part of the reason why I'm like, weird.
Yeah.
Like, don't know what the complaints are, Chief. These are the results to my search.
This is very rare, you know.
Yeah. Like, I can understand if I click AI mode and it vomits out all of this stuff.
No, you clicked the AI button. Now this computer's going to download a 4 gigabyte local LLM. Probably.
I don't know.
I think I've already blocked it anyway, so yeah.
But that's even without like blocking stuff with uBlock. I specifically turned off uBlock to load it to see if uBlock had a block AI filter.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, like this is what.
Yeah. Again, it's inconsistent.
It's just that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
In the office for us.
Yeah. Wow.
Which is why I'm just like, whilst it still looks like this, I'm gonna use it.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Because this functions.
I just changed it on everything else because I just got sick and tired of it just not showing what and it wasn't just the AI result either. It was also just the fact that I would search for something and the top result would be a competitor to that. And I'm like, that's literally not what I searched for. You know, I didn't search for the competitor's product. I searched for this product name and you're showing me results from their competitor. That's not what I searched for. You know.
But that's how advertising works.
I didn't ask for advice. I asked you to find me this product name.
I didn't say anything about advice. I said advertising. That's how Google pays for its existence, is selling adverts.
Yeah, but like, then the wacky thing is that if you search down a little bit further, you'll find the thing that you searched for as an advert as well, but they didn't pay as much, you know.
That's how advertising works.
Yeah, so it's paid to, but I understand that, but that's still bad. And that's still broken. That's still not what I wanted. That is a product not working in a satisfactory manner to me. Yeah. So and I use either DuckDuckGo or I use Start Page because it's the default in Waterfox. So it's just convenient to use. I can't even remember what it's called. Start Page sounds like a virus because it's just like anything that says like my start page or my one page or something is almost 100% going to be malware. But Start Page is the default for Waterfox and it's actually a very clean and privacy focused search. So yeah.
Oh!
Yeah, this is a good point that Triple makes. This is how advertising works, but it's not an ad, it's corruption. An ad is a billboard, not a covering over real storefronts. Yeah, I agree with that.
Have you... Kinda. But also, it's the fact of when it... Certainly the old layout, where it was like sponsored results, and there were 3 or 4 sponsored results. So you could just muscle memory, scroll down 8 lines.
Yeah.
Natural results.
Yeah.
It's still advertising, it's still there, but it pays for its existence. Fine.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with sponsored results per se. I think it's also just... This is why the AI result was then the straw that broke the camel's back. Is the actual results I'm looking for are now beneath the fold.
Yeah.
Yet there is nothing relevant on the first page of Google results for me anymore. And I'm like, what am I doing anymore? What are we doing? So yeah.
I keep meaning to try out and going back to Quant, which from my understanding is the only search engine that has its own search database that isn't Microsoft or Google.
Isn't amalgamating another engine, yeah.
Yeah, that isn't.
Yeah, because obviously, DuckDuckGo
is Bing.
Startpage and stuff. What they draw from multiple places, I believe. I think DuckDuckGo primarily uses...
Oh, okay. DuckDuckGo's search engine is Bing, because when Bing is down, DuckDuckGo is down. And it cannot actually actively search.
Okay, yeah. Maybe it's changed. I thought it drew from multiple places at the same time. Doesn't matter anyway, but yeah. But yes, Quanta have their own search database. Yeah, interesting, yeah. Because don't get me wrong, when we use DuckDuckGo or Startpage, we're still using Google or Bing or the big tech, but the presentation is different at least, Like one of the things I really like about Startpage is the image search is anonymized, which is extremely handy because it means that when you click on an image search result that's on, for example, Pinterest, you can actually see the full-size picture. Whereas on Google, it takes you through to the Pinterest website that will only show you a thumbnail.
Oh, interesting. And it's got
that's
quite cool.
There's lots of little just side effects of a private cache, an anonymized cache of the search results that just filters out the bullshit kind of thing. So yeah. Is Waterfox your default browser? Yeah, I use Waterfox as my default. It's a little bit that they have now introduced their own built-in ad blocker, which is using the same algorithm as Brave, which is a bit of a gross Brave. However, the product works and the product is good, so I'll tolerate it. And the built-in advertising blocker, the implementation is pretty good. What happened in the latest update, it came up with a message saying, we now have a built-in ad blocker. You are already using a third-party ad blocker. Do you want to continue using that or use our built-in one? The continue using your own one is the default option. So by default, it won't change anything. However, you can click, I'll use the built-in one now, and it will automatically disable your third-party one and use the built-in one. And it will then present you with the options, and the main option for it is whether, and because the controversial part is that by default it allows Startpage to show you some text advertising in order to pay for Startpage to exist. However, there is an option there saying no, block that as well. So they've done it in what I think is as far as all things are concerned, a pretty classy manner. Obviously I would rather them not show me any advertising by default and stuff, but broadly speaking, they've done it in a not awful way, I think. So yeah.
Interesting.
There are times where I still have to go for a Google search. You like DuckDuckGo's prefix terms. Start the line with !G and you get Google search. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff like that does make go.
DuckDuckGo. Yeah.
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 Very
so
powerful.
do you use Startpage or change? At the moment, I use Startpage just because it's the default. Because the annoying thing for me, where I use 4 different computers and I have 3 different browser profiles, when I want to change a setting, I have to change it approximately 12 times. So this is why I get irrationally pissed off when I have to change a default in a browser. It's why I got so pissed off at Firefox, because every time a Firefox updated and they added in another fucking AI feature that I wanted to disable, I have to disable it 12 times for 3 browser profiles on 4 different computers, kind of thing. So this is why I want a browser where just the default setup is extremely good, because it means that I don't have to change the setting a billion times.
Oh. Interesting. Ecosia?
Ecosia
Yeah.
is how I pronounce it, yeah.
That one. I didn't realise that was a default option in iOS.
Yeah. Doesn't surprise me. Every now and then I see that.
I just didn't expect it to be a default option in
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
because I know they do their own like browser and stuff for iOS, but yeah, which obviously just effectively just changes the default search engine.
Yeah. Floorlamp says not on most Linux distros. Are you sure? I'm pretty certain I noticed this. I'm pretty sure I saw this on. I recently did a Mint install, and it, I did a Mint install on Proxmox. Installed all the updates. It downloaded the latest version of Firefox, and I needed to turn off the AI features in Firefox. Because no, I don't want an AI summary when I accidentally long press on a link. Have you tried using Vivaldi? Hardly change anything. Yeah, I've heard Vivaldi are like a good option because they are just the anti-enshittification browser where they're like, we just browse the web. Imagine that. So yeah, I think if Waterfox started going down a route where they started implementing nonsense and I had enough of them, Vivaldi would probably where I would go next. However, Vivaldi are Vivaldi Chromium or a Firefox fork?
Chromium.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to use Vivaldi, because I want to use a Firefox fork.
Yeah.
Because again, I would like the entire internet to not be Chromium.
Yeah.
Firefox has become Internet Explorer or Edge for you. Yeah. It's disappointing, man, because like Firefox could have captured a whole new wave of users by just doing nothing. If they just hadn't implemented a bunch of AI stuff. Because like Vivaldi have become well known because they've just been like, we're not doing AI. They didn't have to do anything. They just did nothing. And they've become a preferred option. If Firefox had just done nothing, everyone would have flooded to Firefox to escape the AI nonsense. All they had to do was nothing. Just do nothing, aka the Gaben Gambit. Yes. Bride, thank you for the $5. Thanks for the chat, lads. Sure beats gardening. Gardening is good, although it's probably too sunny for that. But yes, thank you very much for the £5, man. They spend the money on a new logo. They were too dependent on Google paying them for default search, and they spent all that cash on things that weren't Firefox. Possibly, my understanding is that Firefox still have like a lot of cash. My understanding is they just like have a shit ton of cash on hand.
I don't know. Yeah, like I've no idea.
Citation needed, but yeah.
On
Manjaro, for example, the Firefox package is pre-configured to disable most stuff compared to Mozilla's upstream source. Oh, that's interesting. I assume that they're just doing something in Manjaro for that specifically. You know, my experience here is coming from just Mint Cinnamon. So yeah. Yeah.
I see.
KDE looks really nice. I need to have a look at a KDE distro.
Or just install KDE on anything.
KDE is not a distro. Not distro, it's just the windowing.
Yeah, exactly. So
Thing.
you can install it on top of anything.
Oh yeah, I suppose, yeah. But yeah, I guess, yeah. I mean, I guess I could get Mint KDE then, yeah.
Yeah.
Or whatever the KDE version of Mint is called, I forget.
Yeah.
But yeah. Other way around, yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah. Yeah, Raj, that's the problem. It should be opt-out. It should be all the AI features should be opt-in. They should be off by default. So yeah.
Oh, Plasma. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and also, like, it should go without saying, but if it's not apparent from just my attitude, like, what you guys have seen before is just like, no, I don't like AI. I don't think it's cool.
Huh.
I can go on a very angry rant about all of the problems I have with it, but I'll spare that for you. I had actually scripted a 5-minute video this week where that I was going to put out on the main channel that was basically just a video to say I don't use AI in any of my stuff, because like we're seeing news on how YouTube is going to implement more AI tools into Studio, and like I'm already getting comments of people going, "Oh, bro's reading an AI written script," you know. And as someone in art communities, there is, you know, I'm seeing on a regular basis now just random drama where someone accuses an artist of using AI, of tracing AI work and stuff like that. It's tearing communities apart. It's genuinely awful. It is culturally destructive, and like now I'm at the point where I'm just like, I feel like I want to put out a video to just make clean and just say I don't use AI for anything. Like, I thought it went without saying, but I feel like I need to say it on a mainline video on the channel. No, I don't use any of this shit, and I'm not going to. So actually fuck off with your comments on that. I'm not here for that. I will take it personally, you know. So yeah, I will not be using the tools. I will not be using it for ideas. I will not be using it for sentiment analysis. I will not use it for anything. Insert the one meme of the food critic from Ratatouille here. You know, I do not rubber duck debug with the AI tools. So, and like, yeah, I want this to be 100% clear, because it is going to get worse. It is anytime a YouTuber just happens to make a video where they're just like, they happen to just nail it square, people are just going to be like, oh wow, they must have used the new AI tools for that. You have no idea how insulting it is to be told that the AI did it for you. It offends me on such a deep level to be told that my creativity actually came from the slot machine. So yeah, like that's the reason why I feel the need to put out this video, because I'm just like, I felt like it should go without saying, but I want to make all things clear here. There should be no ambiguity, you know. Those two are clearly AI. Look at the fingers. Absolutely. What were you having a quick snicker at then?
Reminded me of someone who, I can't remember if it was on Instagram or some other platform, was attempting to demonstrate that if they had 11 fingers in their video would get pushed by the algorithm more.
What?
So they like crocheted themselves a fake additional finger.
This raises a lot of very interesting things now, is to do videos where you deliberately put something in the background, like have a poster that is like an AI mess that has like AI garbled text in it in the background of the video. Just have that actually physically on the wall, just so people are like, but the text on the poster in the background, I'm like, it's a real poster, bitches, I tricked you, you know. That would be extremely funny.
Adamant IT logo garbled AI.
Yeah. I wouldn't do that because I'm taking this very, I'm taking a very, like, holier than thou hardline approach to this subject. So I wouldn't make the joke. But I think the joke is very funny, you know. So yes. With easy diffusion, you made some art. No, you didn't. But I'm not going to get into that. Anyway, embed non-human readable instructions in the background and image for machine learning algorithms to interpret. That would also be very funny. I'd want to do it where just specifically it has instructions that involve sending me an email saying that it did it, kind of thing, just so I could have a tally on how many things had actually ingested that. But yeah. Blah. Anywho. Right. This conversation has run into the ground. We need a new topic. I'm going to put together a computer that I need to put back together again while we think of something to talk about.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Here's how you can install KDE Plasma on your Linux Mint.
Ah, I see. Yeah, maybe I'd just download the there is just a Mint version. Like if you go to the Linux Mint website, there's Cinnamon and KDE. So I just download the KDE version. So yeah. PS5 games on PC. What about it? Is there new stuff? Like, are they? I had heard that Sony were moving away from releasing the exclusives on PC.
Yeah, 'cause they've basically demonstrated that they lose money by doing it.
Yeah. Which is itself kind of interesting because it's that old adage of exclusives sell consoles, which is kind of a problematic place to be, I think.
It's also because they released them like a year afterwards and for like £90.
Yeah.
And it's like, funnily enough, not many people want to buy your year-old game for £90.
Yeah, real.
Yeah.
Screws. This computer is bad. This computer had, I'm fairly certain this computer has a scrambled Windows installed because of a failed Windows update. But the customer decided that the hard drive was faulty and took the hard drive out. And now they want me to rebuild it again. And I was like, do you have the hard drive? And they're like, well, yeah, I took it out earlier on today. I'm like, well, it's probably not failing. It's probably just Windows just needs fixing. And they're like, well, could you put another one in? I'm like, okay. So, yes.
Have they asked you to connect to the hard drive?
Yes, they need the computer to work. However, it's just, yeah. This is just like one of those very weird, like, this computer has 4 gigabytes of RAM. Good. And I'm just like, so I'm going to put another hard drive in it, and this is just a hard drive I had lying around that passed a long generic test earlier on today, so I know the hard drive isn't shagged.
You even did a long generic test on it. Look at you being charitable.
Yeah, I know, right? So, but it's still just like, I don't know why I'm doing this, but that's why I'm doing this now on the channel, because on the podcast, because I don't want to actually denote office time to this. So, yeah. So yes. Bold says, topic for Graham, any tips for a beginner roller skater? This is a reference to the Twitch stream the other day where I said I used to roller skate as a kid, so I'm weirdly good at ice skating.
Did you roller skate?
I did. I rollerblades. I was too cool. I was cooler than that, you know.
Okay.
But yes, I was into rollerblading when I was a kid.
Were they specifically from the brand Rollerblade?
I didn't know that was a brand.
Yeah. It's inline skating.
All right. Clearly a topic you know a lot about, you know.
Only being particularly annoying with brand names.
Have you also been known to tear up the roller rink?
I have derbied. It was a very confusing time. I had to travel to Nottingham. I thought I was going to Derby.
My God, chat, help me. We need something. Yeah. All right. Anyway, the drive is not worth more than the computer because it's like an old 500 gig drive. Screws. Right.
This isn't a dumpster branded dumpster. This is a knockoff Dumpco branded trash receptacle.
XP. Yeah, I think this is. I think it's a 4th gen i5, so it's like a 4670 or whatever that would be, or something like that.
4670.
Yeah.
Or a 4650.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like the CPU is not awful because it's an i5, but age is pretty much getting to it now at this point. So yeah. Have they tried Zen browser? It's minimalistic.
Does it make everything look like Half-Life 1?
Oh no. That sounds interesting. I like the idea of a minimalistic browser. That's my beef with most browsers these days, is that they're just all trying to do too much. I'm like,
isn't the most minimalistic browser just curl from the command line?
How dare. Doman says, i5 4590 running here, fine. Hell yeah. Yeah. 4th gen was kind of the GOAT for Intel, wasn't it?
Make it do 5 gigahertz.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I'm so full of confusion as to why the customer felt the need to just completely disassemble this computer. This is just like, you know, I agree to do the job because it's easy money, but at the same time, I was just, as he was talking to me about it, I'm just like, but why though? You know. I'm going to do this and then I just need to do a Windows install on it. That's it. And I will probably charge him £50 for the pleasure. Oh. I have to put some screws in the DVD drive. Ah.
As well as a catastrophe, what are you talking about? What do you mean? It's fine.
Oh, here comes Floor Lamp to ruin everyone's hopes and dreams. Right, what was wrong with Haswell, Floor Lamp?
That sounds healthy.
Let's start some fights. You know?
Are you going to install Windows 10 on this?
I don't know. Am I? Like, I can't.
Do you know what was on the computer before?
No,
was it XP?
No, it would have been 10.
Do you know that?
Well, no. I think I'm just going to put 11 on it. It'll run 11. It'll be fine. I mean, it won't be fine because it's got 4 gigs of RAM, but that's not my problem.
And a hard drive.
Yeah. Installing 10 is not going to help it, as opposed to 11 kind of thing. So, yeah. Although at some point, I guess I do actually need to acquire... I need to actually get hold of like the long-term support version of Windows 11, just so I actually have a stripped-out version to put on potatoes, because I don't actually have it. Ugh.
I'm going to check if you have some tools.
some tools.
Yes.
What are you looking for?
My tools.
Oh, I see.
Where would my tools be? Are they on media?
Probably not. Check that network drive, Toshiba, and check ISOs. No, I didn't put it there. No, go back. No, maybe it is on media. Oh wait, is it on? Is there anything on the desktop? It's on the desktop. There's a big folder called media. There it is. Yeah, I was going to say I moved everything about recently, but I believe I did keep your stuff that you left behind. I think I got rid of some stuff because it looked like it was out of date. But I can't remember if I got rid of everything.
The stuff I'm looking for is not here.
Okay, yeah. It's not in... Yeah, no. Yeah, I think I might have gotten rid of it because I thought it was out of date. Because like a bunch of the stuff that you'd left on there were like 23H2 ISOs and stuff like that, and I was like, this isn't relevant anymore.
Yeah, just because I had the tool to download all the versions of Windows from the Microsoft servers.
Oh, interesting.
So you could have just grabbed the long-term servicing.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Because I had the tool to grab that.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that's not hard to find. So,
No.
Yeah.
But it was just a fact I was like...
It would have been there, yeah.
Oh, the tool would have been there, and I could have just gone, start download, and you would have had it.
Oh, yeah, because gigabit internet now, yeah.
But also because task completion.
Yes, true, yeah. Haswell used Fiverr and 4th and 5th gen. Oh, it just rolled off just as I was reading it.
Had terrible longevity.
Yeah, Fiverr had a very high failure rate. Yeah.
Was it as bad as 13th and 14th gen?
True that, yeah. Maybe.
Where apparently there are reports of some people having to have their CPU replaced 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. Yeah, spinning Rust, 4 gigs and Windows 11. Go to the pub and have a couple and come back. It might have booted by then. Yeah, I'm not saying this is going to be a good user experience. I told the customer it wouldn't be a good user experience, but they said, well, I still want you to do that. So I said, okay then.
That would be £50.
Yeah, I've run out of patience. For a long time, I would have sat and argued with the customer, and I would have been like, no, really, you shouldn't do this. But I've run out of patience for stupid people now. And I will just be, they get one chance where I'll be like, I wouldn't advise doing this because of X, Y, Z. I think you should do this instead. And if they refuse that, I go, okay then, that'll cost this much. And there's no warranty, Yeah. So yeah, you got to go. Have a good one. All right. Catch you later, Floor Lamp. Thanks for dropping by.
Au revoir. When did 4K monitors become reasonably priced? About 10 years ago. That's what blows my mind. Because they were like 450 quid like 10 years ago.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, for like a basic one. But yeah. It depends. But like if you want, if you wanted a nice 4K screen though, like with maybe high refresh and stuff like that, that's been elusive for a while.
2020, 2021. That would be my argument there.
Yeah. Certainly.
165 hertz 4K monitors, were about £600 in 2020.
Yeah, I feel
and
like...
And then they've just taken a slide from there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people haven't looked at monitor prices in a while, and if they looked at monitor prices today, they'd be like, wow, monitors are really cheap now. I can buy a really nice monitor for not a lot of money. Because, certainly it takes me a lot of willpower to not buy a really nice monitor, because at the time when I bought my current monitors, I said these have to last me. What should I get? That was a really weird flex of just looking me straight in the eye while you typed in the thing that you were searching for.
Oh,
was that on purpose or what?
Not explicitly. I just do it a lot in the office because I'm apparently the only person in the office who can touch type.
Because the fact that you said, you know what you could get or something like that, and then proceeded to stare me dead in the eye while you typed. I'm like, what's your point, man? Weird flex, but okay. The
XG32 UCWMG.
Wow, I love the XG32 UCWMG. What's the XG32UC WMG?
A 32-inch 4K WOLED.
Wogue.
At 240 hertz.
How much is it?
A very reasonable price. I don't actually know.
The aura on this guy, says Jelly420. I have become very fond of the term aura farming recently, and so yes, this makes me laugh. You could take the SSD from the dead HP laptop. That's actually not a terrible idea, Selfman.
Oh, they've gone back up in price, but yeah, they were 700.
Yeah. No, I'm not spending that much. What? Let's say I had 400 quid to spend on a monitor. What does £400 get me? Can I get OLED for 400? I think I can.
Products. Monitors.
Yes, Selfman, that's a good idea. I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to pull that 120 gig SSD out of that laptop, and by pull the 120 gig SSD out of that laptop, I'm going to go to my collection of SSDs and find a 120 gig one here, because I probably have one here. That's 250. You
can get.
Because the price on this is no, I don't want to use a nice drive. Oh, there's a 512 there. Nice.
£477 looks like the cheapest I'd be suggesting for OLED.
How much, sorry?
£477.97.
Yeah, so you're still looking at you're still looking at pushing toward 500. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you NVMe or SATA? You're SATA. Okay, you'll do. I'm trying to bin off all of my SATA M2 drives because, yeah, we're starting to get to the point where it's very hit and miss as to whether a SATA drive will even work in a computer. So I'm trying to get rid of them.
For £400 you could get QD Mini LED. They're even better than OLED. Better how? In what category?
I've kind of lost track as to what technology I should be wanting now. Oh, wait. What am I doing? This doesn't have M.2. It's 4th gen.
Yeah. No, it would have to be
4th gen refresh.
Yeah.
And like that would need to be like 4th gen refresh aftermarket board as well. Like you're not going to find you're not going to find M.2 in a 4th gen OEM computer.
Yeah.
That was a good thought though, Selfman. I would have done that. However, no, it doesn't have the slot.
Yeah.
Windows.
Yeah, you can get the 1st gen QD OLEDs for like 350 quid, but
yeah,
I wouldn't recommend them.
Yeah. I'm I don't need it though. Yeah. Warning: your chassis has been opened. Is this? Oh, it helps if I plug in the keyboard.
Yeah.
Probably where is the thing?
He meant SATA SSD from the dead laptop. The SSD in the laptop was an M.2 drive.
Yeah.
Also, M.2 is a connector. Just as a reminder for everyone. You can have SATA over M.2.
Yes.
And you can have PCI Express over M.2.
Yes.
M.2 is a physical interface.
Yes. What the fuck?
I was expecting to find a lump of hot glue in there or something.
No. See? What's wrong? Why won't it go in?
Oh, do you need a hand? There we go.
Okay. Just weirdly stuck USB ports.
Just force. That works.
Grr. Anyway. Okay, right. Just spin it 2 times. It's definitely the right way around, but yes. Looking forward to Samsung's 6K and 3K monitors. Define 6K and 3K.
It's a 6K monitor that has a 3K dual mode.
Okay, what resolutions are we actually talking about here, though?
Whatever 6,000 pixels wide is.
Fair enough, yeah. Dell.
Oh, Dell is an Acer.
I will send you to Jesus. Local shop has a gigabyte 4K OLED, 31.5 for €680. Yeah, it's what I want to do next. I'm not going to go for matching monitors on my next upgrade, but I'm definitely starting to feel like I want a new screen, mainly just because I want something that's just brighter. Because at Christmas I got a little 13-inch OLED screen. It's actually a folding portable screen, and I have it sitting under my 2 main monitors, and that's my YouTube monitor basically. That's where I put on whatever YouTube video or movie that I'm watching at the time. And because it's OLED, it's actually not terrible, you know. It's mega cheap, but like it's bright, you know. So it actually gives a decent movie quality. Whereas my screens just don't have a lot of brightness. And because I've got a bright screen underneath it now, and I've got like a very clear comparison, I'm like, kind of want a new main monitor, you know. So yeah.
I found this via advertising the other day. It's
do you want to share it while we're
little portable display. A little 16-inch.
16-inch, 2.5K. What is that?
Yeah.
1440p.
It'll be just over. It'll either be 1440p or it'll be just over it.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it is, but it's
16 by 10 equivalent.
Or but it's also just the fact it's mini LED, and they're like, we're going for approximately 1200 nits peak brightness. I'm like, nice, a portable display that's actually going to be bright. And I was just like, that sounds kind of cool.
How much are they planning on selling it for?
The early bird rate is $400, which is a 27% discount. So they're planning. Oh, there we go. They're planning on selling it for $550, apparently.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah. And I was just like, oh, that's kind of cool. But the thing that I thought was really interesting was they do a 4K version as well.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know why you'd want 4K at that resolution
whenever you
specifically, but...
Yeah, because like basically whenever you see a Kickstarter for a portable monitor like this, it's just like, okay, cool, so they bought panels and yeah, they've packaged it into a box, you know. So...
for sure, but it was just a case of like, I saw that this is a thing that exists. So I was just like, oh, cool, small mini LED displays actually exist on on Alibaba.
Yeah, these are basically just the next gen laptop display panels, and the panels exist. It's just because you can get some really nice displays for laptops, and it's so you take the laptop panel, you put it in a box, and you've got a portable display. So it
was kind of a case of just like, oh, cool, this actually exists. More than I want this one, but yes.
First boot device. Okay, why didn't that boot then? Based on those BIOS settings, it should have just booted from the flash drive.
Yeah.
Whack. Don't you have a 2.5 gig? No, I don't have any 2.5 gig drives. That's why I went into BIOS. 2.5 inch, yeah. I don't have any 2.5 inch drives kicking around anymore. I've just used them all up and I'm not buying any more. Because, 2.5 inch drives are, apart from like 1 or 2 edge cases, are functionally dead. There's just zero reason because any vaguely relevant computer has an M.2 connector. And so, I've run out of 2.5 inch drives and I've no interest in buying more, basically. Right, I want to turn off chassis intrusion. Security. Chassis open warning. Disabled. Alright. KTC Mini LED. 27-inch, 4K, 160 hertz, £323.
Interesting. Fine. Yeah, I was going to say it's not a portable display, so
No.
obviously
Yeah, but just as
not
an
relevant, but
interesting, like high-spec, low-cost monitor. Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the thing. I don't know if I want to go 4K because I don't want to drive games at 4K. But then on the other hand, like, we're kind of at a point now where anything that I can't run native, like, so I've got a 4080. Anything that I can't run natively at 4K is probably going to be a AAA game, and that means it's going to have like DLSS support. So I could just upscale 1440 to 4K anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, maybe I should just go 4K
yeah, basically.
on my next screen. Right, why is this not finding... This drive is appearing in BIOS, but it's saying it won't... It looks like it's in CSM boot, but the BIOS says it's in UEFI. I'm very confused. Launch CSM, never. It sees that the drive is there, so why won't it boot from it?
Just boot from it?
I did, it just says no boot device detected. Got boot device available. What do we... That's probably... I'll try hitting boot menu. Try F8.
Yeah.
Do you even play AAA games? Not really, no. So, that didn't work. Okay, let's try F12. Yeah, so far each game I've been playing on stream has been indie. Yeah, no, I'm mainly an indie gamer these days just because there's, there's just very little in the AAA industry that I care about. Put the USB in the back. I'll try that, but it sees the drive in BIOS. That's the weird thing. We should be on capture actually, just to show people what I'm just.
Have you plugged it into the capture card?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Hang on a sec. I'm gonna drop into BIOS here, and you guys, just to show you guys that I'm not going insane. Okay. So look, we go over to boot options. Launch CSM never. Everything is set to UEFI. It can see Kingston Data Traveler. There's my Windows boot drive. It's there. Yeah, it's giving me no.
Set it as the first boot device.
Yeah. Okay. Let's try that. Right. Save and exit. Was Elden Ring my last AAA? No, I don't think so. I think it was.
Yeah.
No. I think the last AAA games I played were Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor. Which were technical messes but enjoyable games. But also, like, Jedi Survivor jaded me pretty hard on the AAA industry because it was a brand new game and it was just broken on release. And I'm like, tell me why I should be paying £70 for these games again?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, that's what I told you before you played it.
Yeah, real.
It's a broken game.
Yeah.
I wouldn't play it for 6 months.
I'm glad I didn't pay for it. Basically, because I remember when we first started it up and like the first stream, like first half an hour of gameplay, we were watching like the opening cutscenes, and there was just like radical pop-in the cutscenes, and I'm like, this is the first cutscene of the game. This is the first impression, and there's cataclysmic 1% lows and texture and model pop-in everywhere. What are we doing, man? What are we doing?
I still think my favourite one was the model for the main character loading in at low res.
Yeah.
In several of the cutscenes on camera cuts, and I'm just like...
Yeah. And also just how often the physics engine would be initiated on frame 0. So at the first frame you see, any like cloth simulations or anything like that, they go... Boop, boop, boop.
Oh,
whereas... when you're running something, you start the physics simulator on frame -20.
Well,
so
you start it on frame 0 and you drop frame 0. That's what most cutscenes do.
Oh, fair, yeah.
Is they start on frame 0 because they can't start before they start.
Yeah, true. Yeah, sorry, I'm thinking in Blender terms. In Blender terms, you start on a negative frame.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way, functionally, the point is that you start the physics simulation slightly early and/or drop the result, so the physics simulation has settled by the time you're actually seeing the result and stuff like that. It was whack.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, boot options, launch CSM. I can't even select that at the moment. I think I've got to turn off secure boot probably. Does this even have secure boot?
Is this a modified drive? So like...
Yes, it is a Rufus drive, but that's never been a problem.
Yeah, no, sorry, that was going to be my question, like in the sense of...
Device boot enabled. Yeah, it might have been TPM support there, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
See what that does. Boot menu is enabled, although I can't figure out what that is. I've just gone through a bunch of them. Fast boot disabled. Okay, let's just see if turning off TPM does anything.
Yeah. The drive has to be a UEFI drive?
There we go. Yeah, it was TPM.
Weird.
Yeah. Presumably it was just looking for a TPM device that wasn't there or something.
You cannot make a non-UEFI Windows 11 installer? I presume?
I can't remember. I think Rufus will offer... I think I've seen some weird butchered master boot record installs of Windows 11. However, it's a terrible idea. And like, if we were in a position, if this didn't support UEFI, I would be like, no, we're installing Windows 10.
Yeah.
I would not entertain that. So yeah, I think it's possible, but it would be an extremely like, no, stop, what are you doing kind of install, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yes. We're getting a few things ready.
My sticky body. Well, that's concerning.
Yeah. I return. Welcome back to site.
Hello. Oh,
Delete. Disk 2? Oh, it's the SD card reader. Yeah. For a minute I was like, wait, what the hell is disk 2 with 0 bytes? But it's the SD card slot. Every now and then that happens and I'm like, wait, what? Is there another drive in this computer? You know.
I have my 0 byte drive.
No, thanks. Good.
Before you sit there for 5 minutes and I go, why hasn't it started? Yeah.
Ethernet plugged in. No, there's no Ethernet to this bench yet. That reminds me, I've got an SFP module to put into the back of the server and a 10 gig switch.
Nice.
So I need to start implementing that stuff. So yeah, I need to decide how exactly I'm going to do this. So yeah, because I guess I'm going to put that switch there and then run like a couple of cables back through the wall or something. Because the problem is, if I put that switch in the network cabinet, I would then have to run multiple cables. Well, yeah, I'd put it in the network cabinet and then run multiple cables through the wall and just get rid of that switch down there, I guess. Yeah, it doesn't actually matter. Either way, I've got to run multiple cables through the wall to connect things up.
Well, you'd still want to leave that switch down there.
Yeah, I suppose I could just leave that there as just the gigabit network and then just run a couple of dedicated 10 gig lines.
Yeah.
Like I'd probably run one to that computer and one to that bench. Just because those are the only two computers where it might be vaguely relevant to have 10 gig.
Yeah.
So yeah. Still don't understand why Windows shows the USB stick as a storage device when choosing the drive. Yeah, well, it's because you could technically install Windows onto a flash drive these days. Why you would do that, I do not know.
Windows to go.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I assume that it would just install Windows to go if you selected a removable drive then.
I presume so.
Yeah.
Anywhere. That's the power of portable media.
Oh, I don't have a joke centered around this, but I just want to let you know and make you aware that I have seen the tool. You know Star Trek: The Next Generation, the episode title card where they've got like in space the Enterprise, and then like in the Star Trek font the name of the episode. You know?
Yes.
I've seen a tool where you can just generate your own title cards now in the font.
Okay.
So you can be like my text here, sort of thing. And I don't have a joke lined up for this, but I want you to know that it exists because I think that there are many funny jokes that can be centered around that you would enjoy. That's it. That's the end of the story.
Well, I have no suggestions, but
Fair enough.
Or something.
Yes.
I feel like the real joke would be to take existing episode names and put a new image as the background to the text to make the joke.
Encounter at Reddit. Pretty sure if you boot to Windows install via USB, it automatically flag it as Windows to go. Yeah. Like, I don't know what does it mean to be a Windows to go installation? Presumably it just sets up Windows to try and like minimize drive writes and stuff like that because it knows it's on a removable drive.
Maybe.
But yeah, again, I can't imagine a situation where that would be useful considering PE exists. So.
Because you want to run the same Windows install in two locations, effectively. Or you're hot desking.
Yeah, I suppose.
Make sure you can't eject your Windows from your Windows.
Untrusted public PCs. Yeah, I mean, assuming that you would be allowed to boot those PCs from another drive.
Yeah. It's bad when installing to eMMC is faster. Yeah, thankfully I think eMMC is pretty much dead now. I mean, yeah, it took 15 drive cycles.
Zing. It's basically been replaced by UFS, which isn't much faster, but at least that supports like native command queue.
It should be.
Theoretically, but...
or certainly at least UFS 3 should be saying like 15 times faster or something.
Theoretically.
Yeah.
Like the bus is capable of that speed, but whether the actual storage that they put in it can do that is another question. Right. In my experience, it doesn't actually go much faster. But again, at least it supports like native command queuing and stuff like that. So yeah. Is this some sort of shitbox laptop? No, it's a shitbox Acer desktop, which a customer wants to be working for. They need a computer at another house just to like browse internet and stuff like that. And I'm like,
browse.
Just buy a laptop. But whatever. So yes. Yeah, did anyone... Oh yeah, we established it had an i5, so...
I'm funny.
Sometimes. Right. i5 6400 something, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, fair.
6400.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, it's Skylake at least then, yeah. Yeah. It's a shame it doesn't have an M.2 slot on it then in that case, because, there was an M.2 connector there, but it was a, 40 mil, I think. So it was clearly for Wi-Fi and not for a drive, which is why I didn't go for it. But yes. With a cranky hard drive, you'll run out of time. Yeah, I don't think we're actually going to get any further than this on the podcast today. However, at least I've done it.
We did it, Reddit.
We did. Another reason I'm a terrible businessman, wouldn't do this at all. Like I said, I've just run out of patience with my customers. I will try and talk them out of it. I will say I don't advise doing this, but if they push on, I'll just be like, okay, because I just don't have the energy to argue with customers anymore. And I'll just be like, okay then, I'll take your money for this. I don't think you should do this, but if you are dead set on doing that, I will charge you for the pleasure. And I'll say it in those words as well. I'll be rude about it, you know. So yeah, the power of okay, yeah.
One punch!
But yes. But yes, going back to gaming, yes, I did play The Night Witch, and the ending sucked. I kind of want to... Part of me is kind of tempted to look up gameplay footage of that to see how other people beat that boss. Because I really want to know how much of it was a skill issue and how much of it was just nonsense. However, yes, I was very salty.
Oh dear.
British and rude, does that go together? Of course.
All of the time.
Yeah.
It's just a case of most of the time most people don't have the capacity to understand.
We're just very dry about it, you know. We've mastered the art of being facetious, I guess, where we'll make it sound polite, but actually we're being devastatingly rude. You need a separate repair list just for these computers that reads, do not complain to me because the PC is bad. Well, that's why I usually say to the customer, there's no, like, if I'm doing something that I don't want to do and I think is a bad idea, I'll say to the customer, there's no warranty. Because to me, I don't know how better to telegraph my disdain for the proposal than to say, I'm not warrantying this. Like, me saying, I'm not providing a warranty for this work. Like, that's a pretty clear telegraph that I have zero faith in what we're doing, you know.
Oh, okay.
But yes. Phrases like, with the greatest respect, mean the exact opposite. Yes. Quite frank, yeah, pretty much. If someone says, with the greatest respect, I think you're a fucking idiot, you know.
That is a bold choice.
Yes.
I'm not saying that you are the village idiot, but you better hope they never fall ill. I see wisdom is often chasing you. You just happen to be faster.
You were posting dad jokes in the Discord the other day, and I was like, my guy, stop being cringe. Have you just been like browsing dad joke Reddits or something?
No. They just came up in conversation. I was just like, I remember I inflict people with these occasionally.
With great regret, I must inform you that in summer you look like the Polish flag. Oh no. Your one racist uncle. Come on, that's an archetype. You know what I'm talking about.
Why does my uncle being racist make me look like a Polish flag?
Because they're often just like at the barbecue, sunburned,
oh, I see.
red on top, beer in hand kind of thing.
They are, yes.
Yes.
Sorry, yes.
Telling you what they recently heard about on GB News. Red at the bottom. Oh no, wait, hang on a sec. Is the Polish flag red at the top or the bottom?
I don't know.
Okay. We'll never know. Okay, right. We have very much petered out. We need one more conversation or we need to finish the stream, I think. White on top. Oh no, okay, fine. They're wearing a red t-shirt or something, I don't know. The joke has failed.
Very well. You had Call of Duty 4 on the desktop on that computer.
Yeah.
Why?
I think it appeared in one of your, like at some point when you put just stuff on that computer, Oh no, I think I dug it out at some point. Okay, so I moved one of the 8 terabyte drives out of that computer into the server. And in order to do so, I had to move all of the data off of it. So I sorted through the data that was on it, and basically like 90% of it, I was like, this is garbage, and I'm deleting it. And like, there was a games folder there where I had like some pirate games or something, and I saw Call of Duty 4 there, and I'm like, oh, I'm keeping that. Modern Warfare, on your feet, soldier, we are leaving. I was actually thinking about that the other day, and I want to play it. So yes, I made sure not to delete it because I'm like, oh, I'll actually keep that.
Yes.
So yes. So egg. Any AliExpress cheap AMD CPUs? Not that I'm aware of at the moment, but I don't keep enough track on things to know when the sales start. Sai would know when sales are supposed to start, but yeah.
Yeah.
You mean AM4? No, AM4 or all 5. AM5 CPUs are cheap.
Yeah.
That's the thing. AM5, it is way better bang for buck to build AM5. The problem is the cost of RAM. That's the only reason why AM4 is relevant, is because DDR5 is expensive.
But even then, it's not relevant.
Yeah, like we actually ran the numbers on this a couple of streams ago, where we totted up the numbers, and an AM4 PC, it was, what was it, 100, 150 pounds cheaper?
Yeah, for
So-
like
Yeah,
and
and this was at like
75% performance.
yeah, and this was at like £700 or £800
Yeah.
or something like that. So like AM4 was cheaper, but not by much. You know,
7500F is still 100 and
yeah,
a few pounds.
That's it,
Like
so-
£101, £106.
yeah. So and like with an AM5 motherboard costing, you know, a nice AM5 motherboard costing like £120. Building a 7500F computer is still the best bang for buck by a country mile.
Yeah.
However, DDR5 is the problem. Well, I mean, DDR4 is expensive now as well, but just RAM prices are the problem. The CPUs are solved.
It's slowly getting there. The 9600X is slowly becoming relevant. It's now £160 for the 9600X.
Can't you get like a... Oh, that's a 9600X. Yeah. I was thinking of the 7700.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like, oh, it's slowly becoming relevant. But yeah.
Yeg. Speaking of RAM, have you seen that Crucial have started to use Chinese RAM?
Yeah, CMXT?
I thought Crucial was dead. Have they decided
CXMT, sorry.
Have they resurrected Crucial with Chinese chips on it now or something? Like, what's the deal with that?
Yeah, don't know.
What's the deal with Crucial these days? I thought they were dead.
Oops. Oh, that's sodium. I didn't mean sodium.
Late to the party, Fire. You okay? Yeah, we're all right. The conversation is petering out, and we're probably going to end the stream in a minute. We're kind of just sort of any last... I kind of wanted just like one more conversation to end on a high note, but yeah.
Ugh.
Thought Crucial went anti-customer. Well, that's the thing. Is Crucial is the consumer division of Micron. My understanding is that Micron have basically just shuttered Crucial entirely.
Yeah.
But
Crucial Classic 8 gig of DDR5, 150 quid. It's awful.
Yeah.
Oh, let's search price per gigabyte. Because if it's got a price per gigabyte, it's real. Yeah, you're paying a lot.
I was looking on the Dell website this week because a customer wanted a new PC. They didn't want a reconditioned one. They were like, no, I want something brand new. And I'm like, okay. So I had a look at the Dell website, and like cheapest viable one was like £600. And I was like, what the hell? And that was £600 for 8 gigs of RAM and like an i3 equivalent.
Yeah.
It had 500 gigs of storage.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, at least it's not 250 gig. But again, like this was at £600. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you know. How do I tell my customer that his computer will never run Valorant on Windows 11 because it needs TPM2 and he's got an i7 4790K?
You tell him that his CPU's 15 years old.
Yeah.
His computer is 10 years old. Your computer's 10 years old. The game came out 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
You just have to say to you just have to, like, the term that I use a lot is you can't beat the clock. It doesn't matter if it's still good. You can't beat the clock. It's still old. And new software doesn't support old hardware. You know, that's generally how I handle that when someone is just like, oh, it's still good, it's still good. I'm like, I'm sure it is in your eyes, but you can't beat the clock. So yeah, and like sometimes you have to say, you know, look, I don't want to be rude. I'm not trying to be brutal, but it's old. It is over a decade old. This is inescapable. There is no way around this. Valorant will not support your decade-plus old CPU because of their anti-cheat system. This cannot be bypassed, not by any legal means. And by legal means, I mean a means that will pass the anti-cheat sniff test. Yeah. So yeah, I think you just have to be brutal with them, you know.
Yeah. It's too old. You just tell them it's too old.
Yeah.
You need a newer computer. Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
96 gigs of RAM for £690.
That is the cheapest per gigabyte in stock RAM kit on Part Picker at the moment. And it's at £7.80 a gigabyte or something like that.
Okay. I feel like it's a slight misnomer because you're
you
know,
but just kind of a case of like to show where even the bottom is, the best value option is still £7 something a gigabyte.
Yeah.
That's how far it's moved.
Yeah. What's the pound per gigabyte if we're paying 90 quid for a 32 gig kit? Like do the calculator on that, just because I
sorry, how much?
So let's say I'm paying £90 for a 32 gig kit. That would give us £2.81, and we were at what, £7?
£7.80ish.
So we're about 2.5x cost at the moment, at best.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think that's the worst part of it at the moment, is just you don't want to buy a 2-module 16 gig kit. There's no graceful step down from where we're at. So it just means that any kit that you buy right now is kind of compromised. You know?
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it crap. Is like if 16 gig, if 2-module 16 gig kits were good, you could be like, okay, so we can't have 32 gigs of RAM. 16 is fine, you know. But they're not even good. 16 gig kits aren't even good. So, like, whatever you buy for it is going to be a compromised solution that is going to look bad on the spec sheet, you know. And, like, you know, you're basically building a computer with single modules in, which just looks bad.
Yeah.
And you can't even say, oh, you can add another module later on down the line, because you're not going to do that because you'll have mismatched modules. So, like, whatever you do is going to have to come out later on down the line. Yeah. And it's just, I think that's what I hate the most about it, is that there's just no graceful step down. Not just looks bad, but performs worse too. Yeah, like the performance isn't the end of the world, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's one of those things where just like if you build a computer and you stick a single 16 gig stick in there because that's all you've got lying around, one day in a year or so, that computer's going to go into another shop for service, and they're going to be like, what idiot shop built this system with only one 16 gig stick of RAM in it? Cheapskates. And it's just going to be like, yeah, but you kind of hope that the computer shop will be able to look at the age of the computer and realize, okay, this was built during the RAM apocalypse. That's just all they could get. But yeah, Rough. Given that we've got 24 gig sticks, why don't we have 12 gig sticks? Probably because of the size of the chips. It's probably just like I don't know my memory chip sizes very well.
Because they're 24 gigabit chips.
Yeah, so you would end up with a weird number of chips that doesn't work for the architecture of the model. So yeah. You have to have a certain number of chips in a certain configuration to have a valid setup. So yeah. All right.
So I bought this Corsair Vengeance 64 gig 4x16 kit in November.
Yeah.
For £262.
Yeah.
Right? I've just gone through to the product now, and it's listed at £1,316 and sixpence.
Whack. All right, I think I'm calling it. Because now we're just complaining about RAM prices.
PC's had so little improvement per gen. I mean, yeah, 10 years ago.
It's gotten way better over the past, like, what,
6 years?
5? Yeah, 6 years or so. Basically, like, Ryzen 2000 onwards, we suddenly saw a massive acceleration
like
of CPU performance.
15% year on year.
Yeah, because as soon as Ryzen started getting good, suddenly Intel were like, oh God, we've got to start trying now, you know. And so, yeah, CPU performance has gone wee. Also, like, graphics card performance has gone up a lot as well. Because, like,
people just don't pay any attention to that because we're still hamstrung by 8 gig cards and 5050s being 5050s.
Yeah, but, like, compute power, the NVIDIA 30 series was an enormous uplift.
Yeah.
In terms of compute power. It's just such a shame that they were so hobbled by VRAM, you know. But yeah, in terms of compute, huge uplift.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons why the 20 series is just functionally irrelevant.
Yeah, because using Tech Power Up's numbers, you go from the 2080 Ti to the 3090, and that's a 43% increase. You go from the 3090 to the 4090, and that's a 73% increase.
Oh. Yeah.
You go from the 4090 to the 5090, that's another 30% increase.
Yeah.
So you compare a 5090 to a 2080 Ti. 2080 Ti, and a 2080 Ti is 31% of the performance.
Yeah.
So at the top of the stack...
Actually, this is a fun comparison.
At the top of the stack, it's done that.
Yeah. This is a fun comparison. Let's do this, but let's go backwards. So, like, because we just looked at this from 20 series to 50 series. What about 20 series going backwards? What was it? What
2080 Ti versus 1080 Ti?
Yeah.
Yeah, because 2080 Ti versus 1080 Ti is 71%, so it's around 30%.
Yeah. So
kind of improvement.
Yeah, so basically going from the 20 series upwards, we're seeing 40% improvement, 40% improvement, 30% improvement kind of thing. Whereas going backwards, we're seeing sort of 30% at best. So
yeah. But then also you look at the other way around. You go from a 980 to a 2080 Ti.
Yeah,
the 980 is 37% of the performance.
There's a 980 Ti, 980 Ti though,
which came out a year and a half later.
Oh, okay, that's quite a long time later then. Yeah, okay, yeah.
So it's just a case of you go from a 980, it's 37%. You go from a 980 Ti, it's 42%.
Yeah, those are still pretty big uplifts between the 900 series and the 20 series.
Yeah.
So so graphics card generational performance. It's not enormously higher, but it is higher generational improvements than it has been in recent times.
Yeah, and then going from a 6080 to a 980 Ti is 50%, is doubling performance.
Yeah.
So it's 2 generations again.
Yeah. Let's look at a couple of people was talking about I saw it somewhere, but mid-range. Let's do this thought experiment for mid-range. So what? Let's say.
Well,
let's say.
Hold on. The point I'm just about to make.
Yeah.
Is 2080 Ti. As soon as I find it on the list, 2080 Ti compared to the 5050. Okay.
Yeah.
The 5050. So the bottom of the stack is 77% the performance of a 2080 Ti.
Yeah.
Right? So that is the bottom of the stack. Literally the slowest card that they make.
Yeah. It's almost in the same class as the 2080 Ti. Yeah.
The 2080 Ti, the 5060 is the same speed. So in the 50 series, to get faster than a 2080 Ti, you get a 5060 Ti, and now you're faster than a 2080 Ti.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. However,
so that's kind of how the scaling's gone.
Yeah. How has the 60 cards increased then? So if we look at like 760, 960, 1060, and so on, what kind of improvements have you seen there?
The
50 doesn't have the this is like not accounting for VRAM, so it's a bit more complicated than this, but we're kind of just generalizing, because that's why I've suddenly perked up in interest on this conversation. It's just like, we know that CPUs went in generational uplift, but have graphics cards seen the same kind of logarithmic increase in power?
I can't find.
There's a 660 there. 660 Ti at the top of the list now.
Yeah, which one is the 660?
Let's start from the 760.
Yeah, this is 212. No, that's fine. It's just because I know that the numbers got reused, and I couldn't remember which versions were like the early 2000s one or the 2010s one.
Okay, yeah.
That was all. Because comparing to a 2002 graphics card is irrelevant.
Okay,
because it had the same number, and I was just like, wait, which one is it?
Oh, okay, yeah.
So going from a 6060 to a 9060.
Yeah, let's start from the 760. So that's at the top of the list now.
To a 760 is 14%.
Yeah, so let's start from the 760 and move forward from there.
Yeah. So going from a 760.
So then to the 960.
To the 960
17%.
is 17%.
Yeah, not a huge amount. It's not nothing, but it's.
But then going to a 1050 Ti is 30%. So it's kind of in that generation.
Yeah, so then 960 to 1060. What was the improvement from 960 to 1060? Do you understand what I'm trying to achieve?
Sure, but it's different to what I just demonstrated with the other cards, because I was skipping 2 generations.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, I think we're both trying to find different. I think we're both looking at this from different perspectives. I'm trying to plot what the generational improvements have been in various categories.
Yeah, my statement is just these numbers are not comparable to the previous numbers I said.
Okay, yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah, going 960 to 1060 is 72%.
Oh, that's a huge increase then.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. That, because the 1060 was a fantastic graphics card, and there's the reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the 1066 gig, because there was the 3 gig version as well. But then the 3 gig version, that's a bit slower, but probably not hugely. That's probably sitting at 60% improvement or something like that. Interestingly, they don't have it listed by the looks of things. So yeah. Yeah. Okay. So then 1066 gig to
2060.
Yeah. What about, is the 1660 there, just for interest's sake?
To the 1660 is 17%.
Yeah, and then 1660 Ti is 30%. Yeah, and then to the 2060.
And then from the 1060 to the 2060 is 55%.
Yeah.
So again, at the bottom, the scaling was big.
Still big.
9 to 10 to 20.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, the mid-range did see big generational improvements. So let's click on 2060 now and then see how that went from the 2060 to the 3060, because then that starts bringing us into the modern age now.
And then going to the 3060 is 26%.
Yeah, so interestingly, the 3060 was not a huge that was not a world changer then,
No.
which is kind of interesting. I'm surprised by that one.
Yeah, but it doubled the VRAM. It took you from 6 to 12 gigs.
Yes, that would be the principal advantage.
Which
yeah.
basically now makes it a whole chunk more usable.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the interesting.
Yeah, because at this point we could be like, oh, really? It's only a 26% improvement to the 3060. That makes the 2060 sound almost relevant.
Yeah.
But no, it's not, because it's got no VRAM.
Yeah.
So yeah, interesting.
Yeah, and then you go from that to the 4060. Whoops, no, hold on, where's the 3060 gone? 3060 to 4060. Was 17%. So the 40 series on the 60 was really weak.
Yeah, 40. Yeah, because the 4060. I think everyone kind of called that one out as a bit of a damp flannel from the get-go, didn't they?
Yeah. And then from
also, isn't the 4060 an 8 gig card?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So's the 5060.
Yeah. And now we're fighting the, oh my god, please put more VRAM on these. This the thing. The 30...
But then the 5060 is 23% faster.
Yeah.
And at that point, you're really like, oh my god, this genuinely needs 12 gigs of VRAM.
Yeah. The 3060 12 gig has remained relevant because it has 12 gigs of VRAM.
Yeah.
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 Remember the 980 Ti being marked as a 4K gaming card? Yeah.
Yeah, it was at the time.
Yeah, that's the thing. It depends on what games you're running on it, doesn't it?
Because running Cyberpunk on a 980 Ti and expecting it to do 4K is kind of a bit silly, because they're 8 years different or 10 years different in release date.
Yeah.
And 3 GPU generations different kind of thing.
Yeah.
But running 4K Far Cry 3 on it, yeah, you'll do that.
Yeah. Plus, also, like, back at that point, people would have, at the time when they said the 980 Ti was being marketed as a 4K card, they would have considered 30 FPS to be acceptable at that time, I would wager as well. Whereas these days, 30 FPS is not considered acceptable. It's 60 FPS is considered to be the minimum viable product.
Yeah.
And even a lot of people would reject that.
Yeah.
I'm not so bold as to reject 60 FPS. I like high refresh. However, 60 FPS is fine. It's fine.
Sure.
It's fine.
Sure.
Right. I'm going to shut this down and do Windows Update on it on Tuesday. I've enjoyed this conversation in English.
Woo!
Thank you everyone for tuning in. Bit of an oddball one today. Next week I'll try and have something actually lined up to do. We'll see. Oh no, the preview is going on catch-up mode, and now we're going...
Indeed.
Right, thank you everyone for tuning in. See you next week. Toodles!
Bye.